At Wings of Transformation Publishing, we are committed to helping our authors reach their goals and pursue their dreams of becoming published authors. We work closely with each author to ensure a successful publishing experience, and we are dedicated to helping them tell their stories in the most meaningful and impactful ways. We look forward to putting you on the path to writing your book. Good evening, you guys, and welcome to Believe in the Journey podcast, where I am your host, Triveda Harris. And happy Thanksgiving. Thank you guys for tuning in and being part of the Thanksgiving episode. Um, I usually have the show on Thanksgiving, so I'm very grateful and thankful for you guys tuning in. And before we do anything, we always have to go to God in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together on this thankful Thursday. Not only is it Thanksgiving, but it is a day of gratitude, and we are thankful that you kept us in the number today. Let us continue to make memories with our family and friends that we still have here and those that we have lost. Help them to understand, help us to understand that they are in a better place because they are with you. Let us not dwell on the fact that they are not here because they are at peace and we are still waiting for our day to be with you. In your precious and holy name, Jesus, I pray. Amen. All right. Listen, I have four women that are coming on tonight, and they're going to talk about the book From Their Eyes anthology. Each one of these women are truly amazing women. And not only did I have the luxury of being a part of this book by being a co author, I was able to be the editor and publisher for this book. So I played many roles in this book, but my role is very insignificant compared to the roles that these other ladies have. So I have Latanya Littlejohn, I have Harley Quinn, I have Natasha Robinson, and Latanya LeFair. So these women are part of this book, and this is part of us talking about this book tonight. So, ladies, come on up. Okay. Well, we can hear you, Harley. Hey, Harley. She's, she's moving around. Okay. Hey, girl. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. How you doing this evening? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope, I can't hear you. I could earlier.
How about
Mm,
now?
okay, I can. Who was that? Okay.
Can see me?
I can see
I
Natasha.
can't hear. Ugh.
Oh, it's frozen. I don't know why it's frozen like that.
Well, you're not frozen now. Harley's moving around.
Well,
Um,
it just looks frozen to me, and I can barely hear you guys. I'm going in
Well,
my car
nobody's
to
really
try and
saying
attach it
any.
to the Bluetooth.
Nobody's really saying anything except for me right now. Um,
You hear me?
yeah, I can hear you now. Okay, Natasha, I can hear you. Latanya, can you hear me? Okay. Well, anyway, I want everybody to take a moment to introduce yourselves and then we'll get started with talking about the book. Tanya, you want to go first?
Okay. I am Latanya Littlejohn. I am an author. Wrote my first book in 2018. Um, I'm Trevisa's best friend. Let's see. I am also the host of Delayed but Not Denied podcast, which airs every second Monday and fourth Friday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's all I got.
Okay. Carly, you want to go next? Okay, who wants to go next? Can y'all hear me? I think everybody's just moving around and not really able to hear anything. Okay, Najee said, Didi said, and
Oh, so she in.
yeah, she said she was in. I'm not sure what's going on. I told Latanya to go out and come back in
Mm.
and see if that helps her audio. But anyway, you guys, listen. It's always going to be some technical difficulties. We ran into so many technical difficulties just trying to get this book done anyway. And so, with us trying to even talk about this book, lets me know just further how impactful this book is about to be because it talks about from their eyes. And it's basically where each one of the ladies, including myself, talked about our experience as being raised by um, family members and being in the system and being adopted. And a lot of the experiences that each one of us had, was things that we had to overcome. And it started the healing journey for each individual person. So for myself, me writing my story, um, I can hear you.
I hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. I'm just not sure what's going on with your phone. But I want to give everybody an opportunity to share their experience through writing their part for the book. Um, Tanya, let's talk about your journey to writing for this book. What led you to even being part of this book?
Okay, well, Natasha um, invited me to
Mhm.
to actually.
Carly, can you mute your phone?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
She invited me to be on the first book. However, just going back to tell the story was just too much for me at the time. So
Hmm.
it asked me to be a part of this one. I jumped on because I feel like I can't be the only person that has endured, what I've gone through in the system.
Right.
Um, I was adopted at 18 months old.
Hmm.
My biological mother um, was told that I would not live past the age of 9. And they said that if um, in order for me to get the help that I needed, she would have to, give me up or whatever. She already had my brother, and then
Mhm.
she herself had a disability. So
Okay.
she did what she thought was best for me, you know, so that I could get the life that she felt like I deserved. Um, I got adopted as an only child.
Okay.
Um, my parents didn't get foster children until I was 12, and by then I was over having siblings. I didn't, but
Yes.
but the
You're fine.
but I wasn't told the truth about my adoption. My mom didn't want me to know that I was adopted. She didn't share that tidbit of information until my son came along, and when he was a year old, he started having seizures, and they were trying to find out if it was hereditary or if it was, just something he was going through. Well, that is when I learned that I was adopted. Um, so from that moment until 2010, I searched high and low looking for my biological family. I came to Facebook and I saw two ladies. I already knew my mama's name because I had found some information at the house. Because listen, I do better work than the FBI. So I already knew my mama's name and started looking up people with that last name. And I saw two ladies that I felt like I looked like. And I reached out to them, and one of them responded back. And so she told me that if I am indeed, her sister's daughter, she was going to have a moment to break it down to her because she was already in the hospital dealing with some things. And so she told her, and my brother was in Afghanistan at the time, and he called me, and immediately I just broke down crying because I knew that, I mean, that voice was just out of this world to me. But fast forward 2014, I was supposed to go back to see my mom after my birthday, but it snowed, and we couldn't go anywhere until the snow somewhat melted. And then when we got there, she was placed in hospice, and um, she wasn't given very long to live. And I, I had no idea what hospice was like. I did, my dad did hospice care at home, but being in an actual facility, I didn't know what to expect and what they do and how they operate. So I was trying to figure out why they hadn't brought anything in there to feed my mom, or nobody came to check her IVs and stuff. It's like she was just laying there. And so I asked the chaplain, and he was telling me, she's trying to go. And he said, and I feel like you're the one keeping her here. And so I I went out into the hall and called my husband and told him, I was like, listen, this man done told me my mama was about to pass, and that I need to stay. And as I'm telling him this, I see the priest and my aunt coming up the hall. And by the looks on their face, I already knew, she had already passed or whatever. And for me, um, it took me 31 years to find her. And now she's been gone longer than I've known her. And I I'm trusting God with it, although I don't find the fairness in it. Because we didn't even get 4 years. We got 3 years and 11 months. 10 months before she passed. And but it has definitely been a challenge. It makes me look at foster care different. Being in the way that I was brought up, I feel like they should definitely do something deeper than just background checks.
Mhm.
And, people should be evaluated mentally, because even if you pass a background check, if you're not there mentally, then that child is still gonna come up missing something that that they need to process through life. So it's been crazy. Like my mom coddled me,
Mhm.
that didn't want to teach me how to cook. She didn't want to teach me how to drive. She didn't want me doing anything because I had a disability. So she used that to make me feel like if you breathe on me, I'm gonna break. And but I am thankful for the people that have stepped into my life throughout the years to teach me certain things. And you know, I got my license, although she didn't want me to drive. I'm getting a car Sunday,
Congratulations on that.
Yeah.
and I've gotten to a place where I don't put myself on anybody else's timetable. Um,
Mhm.
as for me, it's for me. And whether it be at 21 or 41, nobody can stop what he has planned for ordained for my life. So, being 45 and just now getting a car, a lot of people would look at me like, what you been doing all your life.
And that's one thing you got to understand in this life is that everybody has a certain timetable, and that's according to what God's will is and His plan for our
Mhm.
lives. And so it doesn't matter what man says; it's always what God says at the end of the day. And so we oftentimes try to even give ourselves a timeline, but if it's not on God's plan, it doesn't matter anyway. So you just got to be mindful of that. But let's go to Harley and have her tell us why she decided to be part of this book. Harley, are you there? Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Guilty. Are you guys talking to me now?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Okay, I've been trying to get everything all set up. I finally can hear you properly.
Okay.
And okay, I don't know if you can see me. I'm still.
Barely,
Yeah,
but
but
no, you
I
do.
appreciate that you unmute your microphone. It is, I think, unmute. Woo. Hi, podcast. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
The same to
The same
you.
to you. All right.
Tell us a
Tell
little
us
bit
a little
about
bit about
yourself
yourself
and why you
and why
decided
you
to be
decided
part
to
of
be
this
part
book.
of this book. Well, I believe in signs. I actually have a mutual friend with Natasha, and I happen to be on her page. And then Natasha's post came up, and that's how I ended up finding out about the book. And through that, I was like, this is something that I've in that time I have been talking about doing. So I felt like it was time to make the move. I I initially have been raised by family. Yeah, family. That word still kind of sort of is being defined for me. It's a
Mm-hmm.
little weird. I don't usually I don't know, I feel like I'm just people phobic because I've been let down so much. Like
Yeah.
in my inner circle that is just I don't know. I hold the word like treasure. It's not blood that makes us family at all. you know.
That's true.
That's true.
Very,
So
very true.
I like have a nursing family and like outside family, but the bloodline is just it's a little rough. Yep.
Hmm.
So I feel like the syllabus, it just definitely spoke to me. It's something that I needed help on in the first place, and I had just came to a point where I had a co-nurse, and she just kept
Hmm.
saying, "Just write your story, just write your story, girl, just write your story." And sure enough, I would write it, but I didn't like do anything with it. So when the opportunity came about through you guys, I definitely was like, this is my moment. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's go
Well,
to
let's go to the
Rachel
next on that
and ask
and
her
ask
why
her why
she decided to
she
be part
decided
of
to
the
be
book,
part of
but
the book,
also
but
tell us a
also
little
tell us a
bit.
little. Okay. Okay.
Latanya, are you there? Okay, well, we're
Okay,
gonna
can
move
you hear
on.
me now? Can you hear me
Yeah, I
now?
can hear. Yeah, we can
Okay.
hear
Oh,
you
okay. I
now.
must have pressed the mute button. I'm sorry about that. Well, initially when I was asked to do the book, to be part of the book, I was like, okay. And then when I got off the phone, I said, what did I just say? I was like, what did I just do? And then I have been told for years that I should write a book. I've
Hmm.
always been told that because people tells me the person that I am is not a reflection of what I've been through.
True.
And so I was like, well, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and write it because I know there's people out there right now, especially young girls coming up that been through what I've been through, and you just can't let it get to you. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a fighting battle just about every day. It's not something that I just transition over. It was like, oh yeah, it's all flower and roses. No. But it's something
Hmm.
I had to learn how to cope with, coping mechanisms, um, just a lot. And believe it, I'm still healing. And by me writing the book, it just me writing my story, I apologize, it just had me relive things that I thought that I had just forgot about. And as I
Hmm.
was writing, I was crying. Plenty of days I cried. It was days I was just embarrassed, but that's okay. It's not where you been, it's where you going.
Right.
So that's why I thought it was important for me to do it. But like I said, I was going back and forth with myself plenty of days like, okay, do I want to get out of this? But I'm glad I didn't. It was very therapeutic for me. Um, it helped me heal a lot. I'm not totally healed, but
Right.
I know that by me helping myself writing it, writing my story, I know someone else can be like, wow, I've been through the same thing and look at her. So
Right.
that's why I felt as though that it was very important because I've been through the trenches. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's why.
All right. Well, Dee Dee, let's talk to you about yourself. Introduce yourself to the listeners, and then tell us why you decided to be part of this book. Dee Dee, can you hear us? All right. Well, let's go to the woman who basically put this all together, and that's Natasha. She had the idea for this anthology, and let's go to Natasha.
I know some people was having a hard time like myself hearing.
Well, listen, I don't know what's going on tonight, but I will say this. This book has so many powerful stories in it.
Yes.
And from the very beginning, it has been a delay with getting the book even done because there were different authors who had originally signed up, and then most of them backed out. And then it came to a new group of people, and all of these people have a um, different experiences and different stories, but their stories are so powerful that whenever you glorify what God has brought you through, it tends to make the devil very upset and make him angry to where he tries to block everything that you're doing and anything that's attached to it, because he wants you to stay where he's had you for so long. And
Right.
most of the time, you'll be willing to just stay in that space and be like, man, I don't even want to do this no more. It's not even meant for me to do. And I'm grateful that each one of you stuck to it to make this part of your first journey of healing, and to be in a space to where sharing your story with someone else to begin that healing process, because I know it took a lot of courage for each person to share that
Yeah,
most intimate
it
part
did.
of themselves and to share their most vulnerable spot, and not even knowing if anybody else was going to work. I know we worry about the judgment that comes with this kind of stuff. Okay. Natasha, are you able? Can you hear me? Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yes, I can see you. All right. You are the visionary behind this book. Tell us what made you want to do this book. Mhm. Right. Mhm. Well, we thank you for having the vision to actually put it out there. And it was always God's design and God's plan for the right people to be able to execute the vision that you had. Edie, can you hear us? I don't know if she can hear us. Dee Dee, no. Can you hear me? Let me try to text her.
Fine.
I don't know. She so I don't know. Um, but I want to be able to hear from her as well. But guys, it's been a challenge all the way through from the beginning with this book and to where we are right now. And all of the things that we have to say about this book and the powerful stories. Listen, just go to Amazon and buy the book. That's all I'm gonna say. Each one of us, myself, Triveda Harris, Latanya Littlejohn, Natasha Robinson, Latanya LaFair, Quinn, and Najit Scott. All of us are part of this book, and it is available on Amazon. So just go get the book because I'm telling you, the devil doesn't want anybody to read this book. It doesn't want anything to it don't want nobody to know what these stories are. Um I didn't introduce myself to y'all, but my role in this book. But I shared my story, and my story is basically this: I wasn't raised by my mother or my father. I spent maybe 1 year at the age of 8 with my mom. Outside of that, I was raised by my mom's sister and my great great aunt. So with them, it was an experience, and oftentimes, in the black household, it is what happens in this house stays in this house. That is really the mentality. Growing up in the household was one of those things where um they wasn't very nice to my mom, and so with that, it trickled down to me. They were able to break my mom in the sense of calling her crazy. So my mom turned to drugs and alcohol. Um, that wasn't my thing. That still isn't my thing. Um, but being consistently told that I was gonna turn out to be a drunk, I was gonna be addicted to drugs, um,
Mm,
and all of those things, but it didn't work because I'm none of those things. So all of the things that they told me that I would not do, they said I wouldn't graduate high school because I had my daughter. I graduated high school. None of them showed up for my graduation.
mhm,
My mother was drunk. She showed up for my graduation. So it's one of those things that people who want to see you down and out and broken sometimes are the ones that is closest to you. They don't want
mhm,
you to be the better version than them because they didn't move from the I'm gonna say it this way, the personal hell that they created for themselves. They want everyone
mhm,
else to be in that hell too.
mhm,
And you can either choose to stay in that hell or you can choose to get out. My thing is whatever was meant for you, that's your plan. That's not mine. And I'm not gonna stay there. So it's taken me some time to understand that I'm not what they called me. I am only what I choose to answer to. And that's one of the things that I need everybody to understand. You only answer to what you've been called. And if God has not called you by your name to do anything else, what other people got to say about you, that ain't even your business. It ain't got nothing to do with you because their opinion of you means nothing. You have people who truly love you and care about you, and they're always going to speak life into you. They're going to pour into you so that you can pour into other people. So if you have people around you who are constantly trying to deplete your cup, those are people that you need to stay away from. Because if you have somebody that's consistently pouring in, your cup will soon overflow, and so it can overflow to someone else. And that's what I'm grateful that I'm able to do. My overflow goes to other people. It doesn't stay within
mhm,
me, but I also learn not to deplete myself. And that was a hard lesson to learn. One of the lessons for myself that I'm learning is to celebrate me and to celebrate my accomplishments. Because as I was reading the blog for the magazine, I was in awe and I was in tears of the things that I've been able to accomplish that I was told I would never accomplish. But I've accomplished
Mhm.
them now. So I'm so far from that little girl that they told me I would never amount to anything, that I was just dumb and stupid and was just going to be addicted to drugs and just like my mom. I wasn't going to do anything except for that. And all I can say is, you tried. God won.
Mhm. Hello.
So, you
Mhm.
know, Didi, can you hear us now?
Yeah.
I think if okay, if you're on speaker, I think that's probably why it won't work. But tell us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to be part of this book.
Okay. My name is Margaret Scott Didi. Everybody calls me Didi. And I wanted to be a part of this anthology because it was time for me to do something and to write something that I've been trying to do since I was probably in my late 20s. Every time I would tell my story to people, they would just say, that needs to be in a book, that needs to be in a book. And every time I turned around, I'm like, okay, Father, when are we going to do this book? When are we going to do this book? And the time finally came, and it was time for me to tell my story.
Well, are you happy that you made the decision to be part of this book?
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. I mean, it's a very surreal feeling to see your name on a book. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I know my adopted parents will be very proud because this is not about a book about me, but it's a book to honor them because I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to get out to let people know that all adoption stories can be great. And mine was great. I went from being a foster care child to the nurse who was caring for me to being adopted. So, and it all just like God had his hands all over this entire story for myself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, this is a question for everybody. Whoever chooses to answer first is welcome to it. When you realize that you have completed your chapter for this book, what was that feeling that you got?
For me, it was a feeling of healing. I
Mhm.
was sharing everything pertaining to my adoption and um, my disability together.
Mhm.
Like they're like the Doublemint twins. I can't talk about one without talking about the other. And
Mhm.
this gave me an opportunity to expound on things that I didn't put in my original book. So I was able to go back and reread some things and just I got the spirit of procrastination, so I had a minute to sit with myself and say, okay, we got to get this done, and because somebody's healing may be.
Let it go because I got tired of changing it. Because I was like, oh, I want to take this part and put this part in, take this part and put this part in, take this out and put this in. And so when I turned it in, I was so happy. I was so excited. And I was just like, I can't wait until people read it. So those were my emotions because it was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, like change this and change that. And I was like, okay, this is it. And then I felt so released. I can't describe it, but me writing it and let it go, it just felt really good. And I was excited. So I had a lot of good emotions.
Okay, okay. All right. Who's next? Who's next? Harley.
I already knew I'd be the third one. Sure enough, huh? But yeah, by the time I finished my part of the anthology, I felt that same sense of relief. More so that I got some of it off of my chest. Like this is the first
Mm,
stepping stone. I don't want to say
yeah.
that it's done or that like I felt accomplished. I just felt a sense of beginning. Like,
Mhm.
all right, y'all better be prepared because this is the first step. You know, there is way more to be told, more in depth to be had, in order for me to heal. So it's just kind of sort of taking that accountability that there's healing to be had.
Mhm. Okay. I think the last person we haven't heard from with that question is Dee Dee.
Well, for me, it was a surreal feeling because it was like God was pounding and telling me it needed to get out there. And to be able to know that this is a start for me to complete my story, it's just,
Mhm.
it's amazing because it's nothing but God because I never thought I'd have a resume that says author. Never thought that would be a possibility in my entire life. So that's nothing but God's hands upon this entire situation. And I'm so blessed to be a part of it with you all because it's just amazing me what it's going to do. It's going to touch so many people, I believe. And I am so thankful and grateful to be a part of this group.
Okay. Well, yeah, go ahead. Mhm. Yeah, everybody did their fair share with this book. Um I had the honor and
We can't hear you.
okay, there we go. My computer just did an update or something. I have no idea in the middle of all of this. So, like I said, the devil want to play, and we got other things to do, and I'm not even, interested in what he got to talk about. But I played many different roles with putting this book together. And we had a hurricane that came through, hurricane, tornado, all of these things at once. So I was without power for 10 and a half days. And so it's always a challenge. I will say that God always puts me in a space to where it's like, okay, you're gonna be with time constraints, you're gonna work with our power. Like the last book that me and Tasha did together, my mom was in the middle of transitioning over and I didn't have my laptop with me. So it was so many things that were playing against me to make sure that that deadline was met and then this deadline was met. And then we had the issue with Amazon and so many different things that were playing against making this book available. that let me know just how powerful the stories are. And with me just getting the stories and reading them and putting them together, it was one of those things where it's like, okay, this book is has the power to change lives, to let people know that they don't have to be ashamed of the things that they've gone through in life. Everything that they have gone through is was necessary. And you may be hitting with some roadblocks and some things. It seems like, okay, God, I prayed for this, but I'm trying to go uphill, but you got me going down in the valley to get to where I'm going. When I see my destination is straight ahead, but now you don't took me down in the dirt. Why am I down in the dirt? Well, you gotta be down in the dirt and you gotta be dirty sometimes because God is taking you through some things to understand that you have to go through this in order for Him to see if you're really worthy of what it is that you've been praying for. Because sometimes we pray for things that is not even in God's plans for us. And we try so hard to make those things happen. And when it doesn't happen, you want to get mad at the world and you want to get mad at God. And God, like, I never intended for that to be yours in the first place. So if I never intended it for you, there's no reason for you to be trying to fight for this. I need you to let that go and move forward in what I'm telling you to do. We get hard headed. We want to say, okay, God, look, I want this. And God, like, I don't care what you want. I told you this is what you're going to get. So go and do what I told you. You know, it's those things that we have to be mindful of, and I'm so grateful to be a part of this book with you guys. And to even be in this moment right now, it's a moment of gratitude, it's a moment of thanks, it's a moment of humbleness because without you guys, there's no me, and without me, there's no you guys to get this book done. You know, yeah, of course, there's many other publishers out there to do all of this, but I feel like I bring a special touch to what I do simply because I'm always available. If you have any questions, and if I don't know the answer, I'm gonna find somebody and I'm gonna figure out the answer. You know, I'm not one of those people to say, you know, I got all the answers. I do it right the first time because I don't. I will tell you quick, fast, in a hurry. And I take up for y'all even when people be wanting to say, because I know Tasha had sent me a message one time where this lady was like, why are you making people relive their trauma? Ma'am, this ain't your business. If you don't want to relive your trauma, that's fine. That ain't got nothing to do with what other people want to share. You know, some people like to hold on to their trauma and never grow from it and never heal from it, and they wonder why they so heavy. When you start to live that stuff off of you and unpack the baggage that you have, you end up freeing yourself from somebody else's bondage. Because I had to realize this. I was carrying the burdens of my mother for so long. And I had to give her burdens back because they didn't belong to me. They were hers to carry and they were hers to bear. And the instant I was able to let go of what I was carrying for her, I freed myself. But I also learned to set boundaries with other people. And being able to set those boundaries, being able to heal, doing all of that stuff was necessary. Now, before we close out, does anybody want to say anything about the book, where they can find it, how they can contact you guys? Because this is only the beginning for you guys, especially the new authors. This was your prelude to your next book, to your next story. And this is just the beginning for you to be able to share the completed version of your story. This was just the introduction. So, y'all know I told y'all that the first time. I'm going to tell you that again. So, if you ain't working on your next book, I don't know what you're doing. So, I'm going to need you to get it together and start working on the next one. You got 90 days, okay?
Uh-oh.
90
So,
days, 3 months. You got it.
so will it be like like you see the our chapters in a book? So will it be that, and it just be more added on to it?
No, 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 You gonna start your story, your book.
This is your book, girl. Your book.
This your book.
Okay.
And this was your introduction.
Wow.
You
I
put your
don't
toe in
try
it
to
like
tell you now.
put the whole foot. the body, the head.
Yes. Now listen,
Why y'all
I
got?
tried to warn you. I told you. So y'all
Why am
got
I sit up here smiling hard,
yeah,
nervous though?
yeah. You got 3 months. You
But
already
I
know
like
what's in
that
play.
though.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
So
I
is it
told
gonna
you.
be? Is it gonna be all
We
our
gonna
stories
give
gonna be in?
No, no, no. This your
no.
individual
This is
book.
your book.
This yours by
This is the
yourself.
story of like Tanya Fair.
Girl, you
We
think,
gonna
girl, don't,
forget the red carpet and bring out the private jet for you, Tanya.
girl, not just
Hmm.
the fake fur with the long cigarettes, right?
Right,
Girl,
right.
work out.
That is it, honey. So get
'Cause-
yourselves together
okay,
now.
okay, because I kept saying, even though we had 6,000 words to do, I know I had like three more thousand to go.
Yeah, well,
So
see, now you can go ahead and expand on that because this is your
yeah,
book. And you better come up with your title. If you need some help with that, I got you too. But this is what we at. So you got 3 months to get it together.
I can do
So
that.
okay, all right. So I
I
need
can
y'all
do that.
to start working on it because you already have. So, like I said, this is your continuation to your book, to your story. This was the beginning of your healing journey. You still got a lot more to say, a lot
I
more.
do.
So, go ahead, finish putting your little pen and your little paper together and get your book together. So,
Wow, I can do
yeah.
that.
And I'm gonna put you on the spot. I've learned from the best. My
Uh
mentor
huh.
is on here, she listening. So it's just a book from her page, a page from her book. What I see in you is what I've seen in myself. And whatever you need, I'm here to help you to bring it forward. That little uncomfortable space, yeah, you can stay there for a little while, but just know that I'm gonna be around to push you out. Okay?
And you know what? And you know what's so crazy too? Because you know, like I've been told that I should just write my book and everything. And the
Mhm.
one thing, and I have to be honest, but it's okay. The book, like the first book where we put our story in, I feel safe
Mhm.
because nobody know which one is my story. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mhm.
Now they will actually put a face to the story. And
Uh-huh.
it's like, oh, but I can take it on. I can take it on. I think I can handle that.
Listen, it's okay. It's really taking the blinders off yourself and actually being open and honest with yourself. When I did overcoming childhood trauma, my journey to healing, that was a real eye opener for myself. For the simple fact,
Right.
I um I went through the relationship with my mom. I went through the relationship with my dad. I looked at how it affected the raising of my children and so on and so forth. And it allowed me to understand that my children didn't get to see me. They didn't get to see the softer side. My children think I'm superwoman, and I am not.
Hmm.
And so I had to apologize to them for that because they needed to see the softer version of their mom. They think I can do anything, and I keep trying to tell them I have failed so many times, and every time I try to tell them I failed at something, they don't want to hear none of that. So it's just null and void. And with a lot of the accomplishments that I have now, with these kids, when I do something else, they're like, okay, so what else you gonna do? I'm like, okay, but I wanna, I didn't know if I was gonna be able to do this. And they're like, Mom, there's nothing that you can't do. If you say you gonna do it, you do it. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't even want to talk to y'all no more. And so, but I am grateful for you guys. Thank you for being on tonight. And anybody has any closing thoughts before I close out out? No? Nobody got none? All right. Well, listen. I thank you
I thank
guys
you
for
guys
being
for
in
being
tonight,
in tonight,
sharing your
sharing
faith
your
and being in with me.
thanksgiving with me. Um,
Um, you know, my closing statement is always this, and it will forever be this, and that is
and that is
God's business.
God's
The
business.
only thing
The
God
only
needs
thing
you to
God
do
needs
is
you to
be
do is
obedient to
be
what He's
obedient
called
to
you
what
to
He's
do.
called you to do.
I love
I
y'all, and
love
I
y'all,
won't
and
see
I
y'all
won't see
again
y'all
until
again
December
until
the 8th.
December the 8th.
Y'all have a good
Y'all have a
one.
good one.
Good night.
Good night.